Have you ever wished someone could give you one piece of guitar advice to take your playing to the next level? Over the last decade, I've learned so much, not just from my own playing, but from teaching my students how to understand music on the guitar as well. And here's 14 tips I wish I knew earlier that change everything. Tip number 1 is that natural talent doesn't exist. I've never seen anybody ever pick up a guitar for the first time and start shredding on it. And you haven't either, and you didn't experience that when you picked up guitar for the first time. What it takes is actually putting the work in and putting the reps into your playing. That way you get into your subconscious what you're playing and put the work into your conscious as well to not just have it into your hands but in your head. Tip 2 is that the basics are the most important thing ever. All of us pick up guitar and we want to start playing our favorite songs and shredding and everything. And I actually do think learning your favorite songs is very good and very important. But to this day, the things I practice the most are the basic fundamentals of music, of like what chords fit into a key, your triads, how to drill them, all of that. It's the most important thing for your playing to understand and have a extreme level of repetition on the basics and the fundamentals of music if you want to be playing at a high level. Tip number 3 is that you don't actually need music theory, but it will help you out a lot. Let me explain. Music theory alone is never going to make you a good player. You could get the best music theory textbook on the planet and read it 100 times so you know all of it, and you're still not going to be able to pick up your guitar and play something like... Right? You're going to need to put the work into your guitar playing alone. So I do think music theory is a very valuable tool, but music theory doesn't technically make you a good player. Playing and putting the reps in, kind of back to number 1, is the key to becoming a good player. But I believe in the power of theory. Number 4 is that guitar is a long game. Even if you've been playing for 3, 5, in my case 10 years, there's always more to learn. And the second you decide that you're done learning is the second you start becoming worse. I've seen players who've been playing for 40 years and they only know the pentatonic scale. But it's not because they haven't been playing guitar. Like, they've been playing guitar for 40 years. That's longer than I've been alive. But it's because they're not going out of their way to digest more concepts and understand more about music. So if you can take it now that it's a long game and you plan to learn for forever, you'll become unstoppable on the guitar. Tip number 5 is that as important as this practice is, you need to have fun on the guitar, right? Like, you don't want to be picking up your guitar and feeling like it's a chore. I've seen so many players that hate practicing because they view it as a chore, and that's terrible. Guitar is supposed to be a fun outlet for you to express your emotions and, you know, maybe even escape from your life a little bit, just for a little bit. And if you're not having fun playing, what is the point? Why are you playing? You know? So, as important as all this practice is, take time away from practice to also have fun playing your favorite songs, maybe mess around, noodle. I'm a big fan of noodling. You'll never see me hating on noodling because noodling is awesome. It's a good time, and it might not always make you a better player that quickly, but if it brings you joy to just be dicking around over a backing track on the guitar, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't do that, as long as it's paired with some practice as well. Tip number 6 is that playing with other guitar players is one of the best ways to get better. I remember when I started going out to open mics and meeting other players, I would walk up to all the players who I thought were awesome, and I would literally say, hey, for my set, can you come on stage too and we just jam? And it was one of the most life-changing things ever, because you see so many crazy things, not just playing with them, but watching them play too. Like going out to open mics and finding players who are better than you doing crazy things right in front of your eyeballs for free. That's something that will never be replaced sitting in your room playing guitar. You need to find people who are better than you, see what they're doing, ask them about it, play with them. Anything you can do to get closer to them and play with them more and more and see what they're doing more and more is going to be one of the best ways that you can get ideas for ways to get better, even beyond just like watching YouTube videos. I mean, I make YouTube videos, I believe in YouTube videos, but having it right in front of your eyes in your real world where you can talk to the person and play with the person, incomparable. However, number 7 is that actual practicing is best done by yourself, all alone, right? You're hanging out with the boys. Are you guys gonna run scales together? Maybe. I have tons of friends that play guitar, and we've never done that. I really believe actual drilling and practicing is best done on your lonesome. A classical term for it is shedding, hitting the shed. I think that came from saxophone players from way back when. But shedding is super important. As important as it is to find people who are better than you, see what they're doing, you have to go back home and do what they're doing, implement those ideas. If you're not doing that, you're not actually taking the ideas to get better, you're just using them as entertainment. By the way, if you want to use these tips to learn real musical concepts, hop in my free community down below where there's tons of lessons on how to understand music on the guitar and apply it into your playing. And you can hop on live calls with me and ask me questions so that I can help you hit your goals. Number 8 is that having a teacher is a game changer. We all want to do everything on our own. I mean, as guitar players, as people, we want to be independent and make it independently. And I think it's awesome to be independent, but I also think it's awesome to slap your ego out of the way and say, well, wait a minute. Would I not learn quicker if somebody looked me in the eye, saw where I was, and this person was, 1, 2, 20 steps ahead, and they said, let me tell you this, if you do this plan, like they write a plan for you, you do this, you will level up 100 times faster. Don't you think that that would be a much more efficient way of learning than trying to go about it on your own, just watching videos, anything like that? Like actually having a real teacher. It can be an online teacher, but just having someone who can dissect where you're at and tell you what to do as your next steps to get where you want to go after they've already walked those steps themselves and helped other people do it too is another incomparable thing. Nothing will ever beat that. Number 9 is that songwriting is one of the most important skills you can develop on the guitar. Not just for your technical ability, but for your connection to the guitar. It kind of ties back to having fun on the guitar, but songwriting is one of those things where in your best of best days or your worst of worst days, you can turn to that skill to not just be improving on the guitar, but to be lessening the blow of life. Like songwriting, I found songwriting to really change my life because, I'll spend however many hours it takes putting my thoughts into a song, and then later down the line I can see what those thoughts were. It's kind of like a diary of songs. And sometimes you're going to need how 6 months ago you was feeling. You're going to need that guy. And you can bring that song out and you can play that song and it's going to keep you rolling. So songwriting is very important, not just for your guitar playing, but for you personally. And I really recommend songwriting as much as you can. Number 10 is that obsession is a good thing in the land of guitar. Like, you can't really play guitar too much. Yeah, you can wear through your calluses and maybe you should take a break, let them grow back. So sometimes there is a physical limit, but in terms of technically getting better, there's efficient ways to get better, but they're still more efficient if you do more of them. I used to play guitar all day, every day when I had time to, and I even at one point decided I was going to stop playing video games fully because I used to play video games quite a bit. I decided I was going to stop playing them fully just to put all of that time towards the guitar because I was thinking, what are my actual goals here? Like, do I want to be really good at playing video games? And the answer was no. I didn't particularly care. It was just kind of like a fun way to spend my time. But I did want to be really good at the guitar. So it takes a little discipline, but if you can let yourself be obsessed with the guitar and play guitar as much as you have time to, you will by far get ahead of anyone else who's letting silly little things get in the way of their guitar playing. Like, if your choice is get home and, kick the old telly on, watch some TV, or play some video games, or play guitar, ask yourself, which of those activities is more aligned with what you actually want? Like, do you want to be good at watching TV? I don't even know if you can be good at watching TV. Maybe you can be good at, like, answering Jeopardy questions on your own, but it doesn't change your life at all now, does it? What can is being insane at the guitar from putting crazy hours into it. So, not all of us have the time to put crazy hours into it, and there's ways you can learn efficiently even if you don't. But if you do, there's really no reason why you shouldn't be obsessed with it if you are obsessed with it. Let the obsession take over and let it carry you. Number 11 is that learning comes in phases. The progression of learning guitar is not like a linear, like, line up like this. It's a lot more wavy. You pick up guitar, you kind of suck at it for a little bit, and then you're like, wait a minute. And then you kind of stay at that level a little bit. And then you find some new things to work on, you boop, pop it up, and then you're here now. It keeps I think of it like a stair step. There's like a stair step to learning guitar. And sometimes, maybe life will get in the way. You actually go down a little bit. That's okay. You bring it back up, and go up, flat line a little, go up, flat line. But knowing that makes it not suck because you can just be aware of it. Like right now, I'm flatlining. Let me work on some things. Let me see what else I could work on. And then one day you'll be playing and you'll go, whoa, wait a minute. How did I get here? And if you don't stick it out through that flat period, you'll never get there. Like, do you want your guitar progression to look like because you gave up? I don't think you do. If you did, you probably would have skipped out of this video a while ago. I bet you want to keep learning, so you have to stick through it when it feels like you're maybe not progressing and find new things you can work on to get that next stair step in. And the longer you're playing, sometimes the farther away those stair steps get, but if you can get help with your playing, sometimes the closer together those stair steps get. So there's no consistency to it. It depends what work you're putting in, but don't expect your progression to be a linear growth, like a clear line. It's going to come in phases, and you're going to have to be okay with that. Number 12 is that having clear goals is a huge game changer. I've talked to a lot of guitar players over these last few years, about 40,000 different guitar players, and what I see is a clear difference in what people want. Some people will say, my goal is just to get good at guitar. And then some people will say, I really want to get good at playing blues so I can rip blues on stage and start songwriting on my own and get a band and follow that passion. And the more specific that goal is, the more likely you are to actually hit it. If your goal is just to be good, what does that mean? Really. You might be good already, you might never be good. There's no real definition of being good at guitar, but if it's, I want to be able to improvise over any chord progression so that when I'm playing with a band, I can play over any song that they want to play, that's a much more specific and obtainable goal than just get good at the guitar. So take the time to figure out what your goals actually are and how you can hit them. It's a huge game changer. Number 13 is that the way you think about your playing impacts it more than almost anything else. I've talked to many guitar players. There's some guitar players who think about it like, yeah, I'm learning and there's things I could be better at, but there's things I could be worse at because I put time into certain things. And I know where I'm at and I know what I can learn. And then there's guitar players who, even though they can play things already, they're like, yeah, man, I suck. Like, I'm never going to be good at guitar. And the thing is that both people are right. If you think you suck at guitar and you're never going to be good at guitar, you're right. You won't. But if you think about the things you can learn and actually dissect where you're lacking and what you can do about it, you can do amazing things on the guitar. And it just comes down to the way you think about it and the way you approach it in your learning. And lastly, number 14 is that we are all beginners in some sense of the word. You will never know everything on the guitar, and even people you look at who are quote-unquote masters on the instrument, they're usually more so specialists of certain styles of playing. If you ask the best metal guitarist on the planet to play jazz, improv jazz, he'd probably be better than someone who just picked up a guitar that day, but it wouldn't even be close to someone who's specializing in improving over jazz. So everybody's a beginner somehow, some way. Even the best players on the planet. I consider myself a beginner on some aspects of playing because I haven't put time towards everything, and I probably never will. I'll put time towards the things that matter to me, and you'll put time towards the things that matter to you, and we'll become specialists in the ways we want to play guitar. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's important to know that. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button, and seriously do not miss out on hopping into my free community so I can help you hit your goals. I'll see you tomorrow.